Day by day, month by month, it's getting worse, the knife crime, and something needs to be done about it. And it's not only up to the parents, it's up to the local police, it's up to the local schools, it's actually to educate young kids, like the 9-year-old, 7-year-olds.
Can you address the question to the issue?
Okay, I'm going back to the knife crime because that's what I wanted to make it clear.
Yeah, okay,
it's
thank
not
you.
by air, there's lives getting lost, and something needs to be getting done. Thank you so much.
Can we go on to Christopher in the middle, next to microphone number 5?
Hi, my name's Jo. Just to say that air actually kills many people as well, but it doesn't maybe look like it. So my question to the London Assembly is about plastic pollution. What are you doing to combat the growing amount of plastic pollution in our waterways? We're losing out on many fronts in this term. There are environmental impacts of this in terms of the wildlife. You've got economic impacts in terms of the tourism revenue that we're losing. Social as well, we're all starting to take in the toxins from the plastic. I'll get there, sorry. So there are some various schemes. The Zoological Society of London doing plastic bottles. You can reward clubs that take on plastic straws. I'd just like to know what you're doing behind these schemes.
Thank you. Two final questions. Second, the Congress and the gentleman in the fourth row. Can you come here first, microphone 1? And then microphone 4. After that, can you go to the gentleman in the middle? And please be as brief as possible again.
I want to ask a question regarding working class areas and public spaces. It seems that parks and public spaces are more neglected compared to parks in richer boroughs or areas. I wondered how you would tackle this, as I feel like I live in Barking and Dagenham, our parks are really neglected.
The microphone 4.
Hi, my name's Alan from the Isle of Dogs, again. We see a real lack of green spaces in London, and I just want to know what are you doing to encourage the creation of more green spaces, more green parks, and access areas for families to play, go out and enjoy London and one of the places we have.
Right.
Okay, so in relation, Joe, in relation to your question on plastic, I'm going to let Leonie Cooper answer this because when Janet Arnold, the chair, was talking about the Royal Assembly, Leonie's committee is a good example of the pressure they bring to me to take action. They've just done a report in this area, so I'm going to let Leonie answer the question because they put lots of pressure on me to take action, which I will do. I'll let Leonie explain the pressure she's bringing to their committee on me. In relation to, I know it was out of order, but I do want to mention the knife crime issue. I know it's not the knife crime section. Can I just say, in relation to your concerns as a parent, I understand those concerns. I've got 2 teenage children as well, and I understand the concerns you have about your children. One of the things we are doing is, Sean Bailey is absolutely right, of course he's right in relation to our family. But there are some young people whose family aren't able to give them the advice and support that many of us were lucky to have. And so that's why we're having an increased amount of school safety officers. And we want young people, when they go to school, because most people spend most of their time in schools, primary schools, secondary schools, people referral units, to receive guidance and advice from teachers, from sometimes people they respect, role models, but also school safety officers. And so we are taking very seriously our responsibility as the village to help to raise your family, the role we have to make sure your 4 children are safe, and that's a responsibility we all take seriously as people who love our city and love young people. The question asked about, but firstly, can I just ask you to show your appreciation to a 6th form student who asked me a question just now in the front. Go on, go ask the question. He said ask me tough questions. I didn't think you actually take me up on Alpha, but I'm glad you did. Look, it's a really important issue. It's linked with a question raised by the gentleman from the Isle of Dogs. To me, this is an issue of social justice. Actually, the people who suffer the most from the bad air are the poorest. It's a fact. The schools which are in the areas with the worst air are in the most deprived areas. An amazing stat, which is that more than 80% of the children who go to the schools which has the worst air are the free school meals. So it's an issue of social justice, and you will know from GCSE biology that the more green we have, the more trees we plant. Photosynthesis means it takes in the bad stuff, the carbon dioxide, and pumps out the good stuff, oxygen. So we've got a plan. Shea Rodriguez, who's my deputy mayor for Environment and Energy, has got get £9 million worth of money, and we're saying to communities and schools and groups, bid for this money to green areas. It could be to plant trees, it could be to have green corridors. We're making sure the new buildings we have green roofs, really important, green walls. Roughly speaking, 40-45% of London is green, but not in the poorest parts of London, not in the most deprived parts of London. And so we've got to make sure the dense parts of London benefit from green areas. So the first tranche is £1 million. So go to the website and look at this, see if you can bid with your community for this funding, because we've got to make sure that we not just don't build in the green belt, we've got to keep what we've got. We will have more as well. You know, it's an amazing fact. We could double the density of homes in London and still be less dense in Paris. So I don't buy with building a green belt to meet the housing crisis. We can keep the green we've got, have some more, and meet the needs of Londoners.
Thanks very much, Chair, and thank you very much, Mayor, for asking me to come in on this. We did a look in the Environment Committee, which I chair, at plastic bottles. We did a whole meeting on this, and we took a lot of really, really worrying evidence. It is an absolute plague, and it's now getting a lot of media attention. It's really destroying our oceans. 75% of the fish in the River Thames are full of plastic. So every time we eat fish, we might be eating plastic. It's horrible. And we came up with a series of recommendations. I've been on about having trees and May moment. Sorry. I'm just waiting for my P45. Kidding. So we came up with a series of recommendations, and the Mayor's right. This wasn't something that was originally in his manifesto before he was elected. But if you go and check out the draft environment strategy, which you can still comment on until the 17th of this month, the 17th of November, it now mentions plastic bottles, and that is a direct result of the work that we did in our committee. And the recommendations included having a look at whether or not a deposit return scheme would work so that people take bottles back. Also looking at things like people just being able to walk into shops who've got maybe a sign outside, or finding them by an app on your phone that say, yes, you can come in and refill a bottle with water. But some of these things are going to take us to stop just dropping the bottles, and every time you go and get a meal deal, you get yet another plastic bottle. And actually thinking about maybe carrying a bottle with you that you refill. So there's a bit of an onus on us to do a bit of change. If you've got some great ideas about other things, I'll just mention a couple. The report is on the website, but also if you've got some thoughts, go and have a look in the draft environment strategy and make your own comments. And can I just say one thing about the parks and open spaces, which two people mentioned? That was another thing that we looked at in the Environment Committee. We had a couple of meetings on that. More Londoners replied to our call for evidence. Over 3,000 people responded. 3,000 Londoners said, this is what I value about my local green space. And we came up again with some recommendations, some of which have found their way into the draft environment strategy. There's a whole section in there. Go and have a look at it. We think, Londoners find parks and open spaces really important, and that's why the Assembly has been looking at it and why it's a priority for the Mayor as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonie. After now, we go through two sections. The next one, section 4, is on housing.